Guys, this is Jessie over at Decker Truckline. We're having a little update here on our cameras. It's not working like it should be, but that sounds about right, right? Let me know if you can see the screen and we'll go live with everything. So let me know that you can see the screen. It should say 2020 forecast for the trucking industry. And then of course, if you can hear me, that would be ideal. Let me know. What we'll be talking about today is obviously our take on what to expect for 2020 here in the trucking industry and how that's going to affect us, and then what we have for goals here at Decker. And I'd like to know a little bit about what you've got for goals as well. Hey Todd, hey Mudflap, good to see you guys. So all right, I'd like to get this working for you, but I'm not sure why it's not showing. All right, retired DOT. Hello from Billings, Montana. All right, fellow Montanan. Love it. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, I have got I'm not getting that camera to work again today like I did yesterday. I really don't know why. Just doesn't want to cooperate. So you'll have to put up with the visuals instead. So that'll work, I hope. All right, so let's talk a little bit. What do you guys have for goals this year? Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? Most of the time it's, weight related, I think, for most people. Maybe it's, getting a new job. Maybe it's improving in the job that you have. What is it? Fill me in. What you got for me? While you're putting that information in, I'm going to tell you what the industry is forecasting here for the trucking industry. I guess this is what we're expecting. You can expect some new regulations. No surprise there, I'm sure. Go figure on that one. If you heard about any of the other ones, any other regulations that we should be expecting, why don't you go ahead and share that with me, because I can give you at least some of the details on what I've been hearing within the industry for updated regulations, but there's also some others as well out there, I'm sure. I mean, can't hear everything. So for the 2020 regulations, expect to hear some training requirements coming out there, more restrictions on the type of training that you can get before you obtain your CDL. This is obviously for new to the industry drivers, so new Class A CDL drivers. You don't expect you to be able to just go next door and at maybe a farmer or rancher and get some experience through them in order to obtain your CDL. You're going to have to start going to a certified school. We work with PTDI certified school for our over-the-road refrigerated division, and I am imagining that's what they're going to start expecting as well. So we'll see what we hear as everything gets unraveled or unfolds throughout the first quarter. I imagine most of it will be within the first quarter. Expectations for getting better fuel mileage, always trying to get increased better fuel mileage, and we expect that some of the requirements or the regulations will be aimed towards that as well. And of course, for a lot of the companies out there, which is why some of those companies have already closed here at the tail end of 2019, is the insurance costs going up. They're really hammering down on the quality of professional drivers out there, and putting more and more requirements out there as well, and that has caused some of those insurance costs to go up. Plus the number of accidents that some of the companies that did close, the number of accidents that they had, the severity of the accidents, and then of course the inflation of the insurance costs had a huge deal to do with that. Well, as always, you guys, make sure if you are new to Decker, if you have any questions, you can get a hold of us at 888-668-0698. You can also apply online at drivedecker.com if you haven't and you're interested in coming aboard to Decker. And for all of our professional drivers here at Decker, I've got work for you. No. I've got some requests on how to, we're thinking about aiming in a game. And we talked a little bit about this. Todd, you probably recognize this, but we talked a little bit about this yesterday in our positive posting, and how we can create opportunity for you guys. The Inside the Triangle that Jessica has put out there for us. Inside the Triangle is a publication for our professional drivers, and it's just geared for us and for you guys, I guess. I don't have my CDL, but this is just going to give you a good understanding, if I can get this over to you, of what smart posting is and what I mean by smart posting. I think that'll be help you better understand what the heck I'm talking about. Let's see. Let's get that over to you. Okay, so smart posting. This is our Inside the Triangle. And if you can read it, and I don't know if you can, this is our third edition, but our second week on the topic of positive posts and how that can impact the company. Positive posting is, well, obviously it's very beneficial to the company because it gives an understanding of, what the company is all about, and in this instance, Decker, and what we have to offer. But a lot of times when you're going on some of these sites, the ratings or the rankings are kind of skewed because they're either 5 stars or 4 stars, or most of them are 5 stars. And even with neutral comments, I don't have much, nothing negative to say. That's a neutral comment, and then get a 3 rating. That brings the rating down significantly. So even though we don't have a lot of negativity, which of course we love that we don't have that negativity, it's detrimental, I guess, to the company itself in obtaining customers, as well as professional drivers that we're looking to come aboard. So the idea of positive posting is important, and we feel that it's a need to share the information with you guys so that you're better educated on why we're asking for it. And then with that in mind, the request that I have for you is, if you are happy, truly happy with Decker and what we have to provide for you, go ahead, go post a positive review, and you can post it on Glassdoor or Indeed or Google or whatever. But give those stars up there in a positive post so that people have a good understanding of what Decker is all about and what we represent. But what we want to do is reward you, those of you who are doing it. We just don't know what to reward you with. We had a couple suggestions yesterday, which I thought were pretty good, with the Decker scorecard, adding maybe an additional category to that. And I'll hit on the Decker scorecard a little bit later too, to give you an update. But also decals. We talked about decals, or designating a spot on the truck for it. Also maybe, and this is a kind of sidetrack, but driver fitness and incentives, store gift cards, store gift certificates. Can't talk. Those were ideas as well. So I would really like to get your guys' input on what you'd prefer. And is it something that everybody should be getting that participates in it? Or is it something that we should have an ultimate, the one who does the most postings, or, encourages the most people to post, will get the, overall prize. So far in the discussions that we have in our TCA meetings, these are our communication meetings that, in a way to give you guys more input. So far in our communications meeting, we feel that everybody who participates in this should get something. And we just want, like I said, your input on it. So feel free to fill me in. I'm going to catch up on some of these comments over here since I'm a little behind. And let's see. Howard, hey, good to have you, bud. Good to see you again on our Tuesday. Retired DOT, I'm in the final stage of hiring, so I can start with you guys on Monday. Woohoo! My question is for my recruiter, Bryce. He said that they will put something on my truck to signify me being a Navy veteran. That's true. Any of our veterans, we have the, they're decals. So if whatever your branch is, we like to recognize that there for you. So with a copy of your DD-214, that'll help us get that information correct and put that decal on your truck for you, so you'll be getting that. Yep, absolutely, he is correct. Let's see what else I'm missing here. How big is the decal? It's not huge. I think it's like a 2x4 is what I'm thinking. It must be a little bit bigger than that. It's right around that size though. Risky red. Decals are small, but I put my own on 10-inch size. Oh, did you? Would you say, Howard, would you say it's about a 2x4 that's provided? Ezekiel, hi. You live too far north for us? Yeah, if you're in the Northeast, then that's probably where you're at, I imagine, huh? Or Canada. Mudflat says thanks for your service. That's right. Got a couple guys on here. Howard, as well as retired DOT. Excellent. Howard says, do you get them online from most military? Oh, you're talking about the additional decal that you got. You can get those from the online store. Cool. Very cool. Excellent. So let's get back to inside the triangle, because I really want you guys' input on that. So I'm begging you for a little bit of input on what you prefer for those prizes. The topic of the issue 2 was on the inside of the triangle with positive and negative posts. Just a recap on the online reviews. They're a natural way for consumers to relay the experience with a brand. So keep that in mind. It gives them a good understanding of what Decker, in this case, what Decker's all about. It's critical to our business, and we monitor and manage these reviews accordingly. So I've been trying to keep track of those on Google, as well as Facebook and Indeed and Glassdoor. Jessica, the head of marketing and communications, has also been working on those, making sure that we respond to everybody that has questions or is commenting one way or the other on those. Hey, Jonathan, good to see you. Good deal. So how to improve our ranking. This is what we want to see. With a general understanding of how reviews affect our business, we can take action on supporting our brand, and all employees play a key part in that. Decker can be found on any of the given review sites. Like I said, Glassdoor, Indeed, Google. Those are the main topics, at least for this 2000 or this number 3 issue, which is January 2020. And then it goes through additional details on how to post and also how to update a post. So I think this is really important. When you first start with a company and you're kind of getting your wings and trying to get a good understanding of what the company represents and how it's working for you, you might be pretty neutral. Makes sense, I would be. And then once you kind of, get in the flow of things and things are working out well, you get a good understanding of what the company is doing and how you're supported. You may be apt to update your review. And you can do that if you go into this 8 tips for writing a positive review. By the way, you guys can get access to this through the intranet for our company drivers here. You can access this through the intranet. And if you go down to number 6, it says feel free to update if needed. Oh, it didn't highlight. I really wanted it to highlight that. But feel free to update it, and it gives you instructions on how to update some of your reviews as well. So hopefully you guys will find that handy in if you wanted to update any of those reviews. But let me know what you think would be a great incentive for filling those out and appreciating you taking the time for doing that or to do that. Oh, mud flaps off, flying out. See you later. On Epic View? Ooh, that's a good idea. Free on demand. Hang on, I gotta write my little notes here. Movie on Epic View. Epic View, for those of you who don't know, and it looks like most of you guys are current drivers or on your way over to Decker, so you probably have this information already given to you, but Epic View is one of our amenities in our trucks. So it's the television plus the onboard software, what is that? Programming, TV programming. It's over 100 channels of premium programming, and that's going to include Cinemax, Showtime, HBO, plus the Sunday Ticket, and all of that is included into the truck. And it's company paid, so that's, again, for all of our company drivers, that's company paid subscription for that Epic View. But having a movie, I guess I didn't realize that there were new release movies available on Epic View. That's good to know. Good to know, good options out there. Let's see. Yes, definitely call in. You can call in at 888, Jonathan, I know you know this number, but 888-668-0698. And Calvin will be coming this next week too, it sounds like. Yes, you can call in Anna to get more information on that. I love Anna's response. She will be here mentally till 4 p.m. and physically till 5. Just warning you. Sometimes we have to check out. So I want to move back to what to expect in 2020, at least for some of these regulation changes. So another thing that's going on here in 2020 is the expectation, or not expectation necessarily, but flat out that we will be, as an industry, increasing the numbers of random drug testing. So I think that's pretty, there we go. I think that's pretty well known as of now. We spoke a lot about it yesterday on our Facebook Live. But drug testing went from a 25% within the industry that it was required to now it's up to 50% required. Now, 10% is what, as a company, you need to randomly drug test 10% each month. Now, that being said, as the industry, it's gone up to 50. And the reason that it's gone up is because of the 25% that were randomly drug tested, over 1% were tested positive. So, and since the, oh my goodness, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it was the 2001. Can't remember when it was put into place, but into the regulations. But once it was once said that I think it was 2001. I can't remember if it was 2001 or it might have been 2008. But anyways, the drug testing, if over 1% were up to positive or failed for positive, then it'd be bumped up to 50% for randoms, which is a huge increase. I am getting errors on the video, so hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. All right, so the drug testing. We've got training requirements, fuel mileage, insurance rates. We've got drug testing increasing for the random drug testing. And more female drivers are expected in the industry too. Overdrive and trucking transportation news, they've been talking a lot about more female drivers coming into the industry and how they can bring in safer records, fewer violations coming into the industry itself, and they're hoping for improved insurance costs by doing that. Calvin says, thank you all. I've been just in awe of the complete and humble you folks are. Choosing Decker from the companies I was looking for was an easy pick. Oh, love to hear that. Thanks, Calvin. We appreciate that. Patrick says, I don't have that Epic View. I'm not sure if it's available or possible. I'm just suggesting. Well, you should have Epic View soon. So as an update for Epic View, it is, I believe we are halfway through the installs. And again, still on track. It sounds like still on track for 100% of the fleet to be updated by the end of the first quarter. So we're getting there. All the techs are trained in it, and we are working our way up to 100% for that Epic View. All of our trucks are really well maintained as it is. They all have CB units, APUs, refrigerators, bunk heaters, navigation, Sirius radio. Now the Sirius radio, you need to have the subscription for it, but all of the hardware is there. With that said, we do have an incentive as part of our referral bonus, which the referral bonus has $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 payments for each driver that you refer that's hired on. That all pays out within 90 days of hire. But in addition to that, one of the perks, one of the additional incentives is 12-month or 1 year of the, what do I want to say? XM, Sirius Radio. That's the word I wanted. that's paid by Decker. That's one of many incentives. You can actually get more information on the incentives on our webpage, which is drivedecker.com /driver-referral. We get that on over to you, and you can see some of the additional information on our, let me get this over to you so you can see this. Additional information on our referral program. And we did have, this is the 2019 details. We'll be getting the 2020 details out here as well. For the 2019 year of 2019, we had one driver who referred 5 or more in 2019, 5 or more referrals. And of those, or for Jesse, it was Jesse Torres, by the way, he actually gets the $2,500 in cash to the equivalency of Las Vegas. So does anybody follow that? Because that didn't make sense. Anyways, he got to choose between Las Vegas or $2,500 in cash for the grand prize, and he chose the cash. We also had the winner for December 31st. That was Eric, right? Eric was the one, I believe, that won this last quarter, is the fourth quarter drawing for the $750 cash or the tablet. And every referral you get, your name goes into the hat, and we get to draw for a winner each quarter. And we'll continue to do that for 2020. So it sounds like the referral program is going to be the same. So continue to start bringing in some extra cash for you guys who are looking to participate into that. Give you just another mode of income there, right? Excellent. So Howard says, my Epic View is set up for 90 days. It's pretty nice, huh? It is pretty nice. I'd like to continue that. What else? I was going to hit on something else based off of what Patrick said. I can't remember. But the Epic View is getting in all the trucks. It's not in 100% of the trucks yet. Forecast trends. So here it is. What 2020, or what they expect 2020 to bring us. You guys take this with a grain of salt, because I was seeing mixed reviews depending on where I was at, whether it was Transport Nation or Transportation Nation, excuse me, Freight Waves. No matter where I was reading, it looked like everybody had a different forecast. So there were some similarities, and Howard says he could give me the $2,500 and I'll invite that he goes to Vegas for free. That might work. I think he went with the cash. So for the top 10 forecast trends for 2020, like I said, those were the regulations that you can expect. But for the trends that we expect, more bankruptcies, more carrier bankruptcies. And reason being is that one of those regulation forecasts of rising insurance, they expect it to have a bigger impact on the trucking companies. So those companies that had, in comparison to the number of tractor trailers or drivers that they had, the number of accidents, like severity of accidents, definitely came into effect. So they do expect more bankruptcies. In 2019, so in 2019, more than 3,400 driver positions were lost because of the bankruptcies. So 3,400 more driver positions. Now on top of that, you can also think of some of the in-house people, the driver managers, the customer service, the contractors, recruiters, management. There's quite a bit as well who have lost in the industry. 795 trucking companies with an average of about 30 trucks were the ones that were, for the most part, closing. Of course, Celadon and a couple of the others were exceptions to that, but right around 30 trucks was the average. They're definitely smaller companies that were getting hit harder because of those insurance costs. It was harder to recover from those. Let's see. Sorry, I was reading Howard's comment. Hey, Calvin, this is a cool company and you can let your hair down here. Good company. So I was picturing... Have you guys seen those what are they called? Squatch soap commercials? Howard, I don't know if you've seen it, but that is so funny. I gotta find one of those for you guys. Hilarious videos that are on YouTube, but they're just ads for body soap. But the guy's got longer hair, and talking about letting your hair down. Those are hilarious videos. You really gotta watch those. Okay, anyways, getting back to these forecast trends. Bankruptcies, which they also expect higher numbers of mergers because of the same thing. And obviously improved technology. Technology is becoming more and more eminent in our industry, and I'm sure you guys are feeling that with the updates of the ELDs. We've got so many safety features that are electronic, technology driven. Smart Drive is a prime example. Here at Decker, we've got the Smart Drive system, which is a combination of inward and outward facing event controllers or cameras, as well as lane departure devices and showing your following distance, recognizing your following distance, and any negative habits that you might have out there. Those are all technology driven, or all designed for safety in mind, trying to keep a safer, create safer habits. And safety's first here. It's first here. It's first in the industry. It's first with DOT. At least that's what they're telling me with DOT regulations that they're doing. Safety is first, and getting everything streamlined, becoming more efficient is why they're throwing in more and more of that technology. Speaking of technology, the urbanization, they do expect to have better technology for the drivers out there who are for navigation. So I know a lot of you guys, especially our veteran drivers, you guys are quite good at reading the Rand McNally maps and getting those out there and sifting through them, finding. Not all of the roads are updated as quickly as we wanted in some of the technology, and that's one thing that they are really adamant on trying to fix. In the forecast trends, they expect to have a lot of other options out there for you guys that are more accurate, and of course incorporating more data analytics that are going to give us within the company a better idea of what routes are going to be better for us, whether it be fuel efficiency or whether it be cutting back on deadhead, or increased pricing for us to be able to provide better opportunities and better amenities and pay for drivers. Those are all things within the industry that they're looking at. So changes in prices, those are being forecasted, which I think is a pretty blank forecast, because in one hand they're saying that the changes in prices are going to be going down, in another they say that they're going to go up. I think we're going to have I think we're probably going to have a combination where they might go down temporarily and then come up, by the mid-year, right before elections. Seems to be the norm, at least. Calvin says, I've been hearing this over and over. It's not work, it's a career. Number 2 for me. Feel good. Now you'll be able to have adventures, I guess, is a good way to describe it. Howard says, is there any way other major companies that are going out of business, or are there any major companies going out of business? Any additional ones? Not that I'm aware of. There was, the last one I saw was on the 31st. And so that one was another decent one that closed. Now I'm trying to think of which one it was. We saw so many here in the last few weeks, or last month and a half, about I'm trying to think of which one. What I know that the tanker division of Stevens went down. That was earlier in December, on the 31st. I can't remember which one it was, but that's the last that I've heard for companies that have gone down, at least of any size. I was reading the side comments about letting your hair down. Also seeing some movement in the production locations because of where the trucks are being produced, and not only just the trucks, but any of the hardware and necessities for the trucking industry, where they're being produced. Those locations are being moved to more to cut down on a lot of the deadhead for companies as well. So that marketing flip, expect to see in 2020 a market flip. I think we're all hoping for that. Rise in fuel costs, at least temporarily, and again, having to do with the election year, I'm sure. They're trying to figure out if electric trucks are going to have a huge impact on the rising fuel costs or alternative fuel options. All things that you can expect to see, or at least expect a conversation going on about it. Expect a recession, according to Noel Perry, which is, that's just forecasting based off of what he's seen in the past. He's been in the industry for quite some time. But that was one of his quotes on Transport Topics earlier this week, is minimal dip in the contract prices compared to the expected. However, he does expect to see a recession. We'll see. What's nice is that here at Decker, we are a stable, financially stable company, and we've got a great support group, and we're always trying to improve. But every improvement has to have an evaluation, because you definitely don't want to end up where so many of these companies in the last quarter ended up with all of their drivers without jobs right before Christmas or right after. So you want to make sure that you're making smart movements. No, I have not heard that, Howard. I know a lot of companies are purchasing it, but I definitely haven't heard anything about Decker doing that. Asking about the electric trucks or the driverless ones. I don't know. I think the driverless ones, granted I could be wrong about this, but I think the driverless ones, it's going to take quite some time to get those out there and really, really getting use out of them. Sounds scary to me. Retired DOT, about $80 at Walmart and still get all the amenities. Well, another forecast that they're expecting, this is not necessarily for just 2020, but for the next couple of years, is the driver shortage. They expect that to increase. With the driver shortage increase, almost doubling actually to about 240,000 by the year 2023. And if that's the case, with the regulations and with a lot of companies pushing female drivers, hopefully with the increased amount of female drivers and whatnot, we might be able to kind of shorten that gap, or get that gap a little bit shorter there, smaller there, between the driver shortage and the need for drivers. Definitely a need though, huh? I'm sure a lot of those drivers out there that were with Celadon or that were with Stevens Tanker or any of those other companies, I'm sure didn't have a wholehearted time trying to find other opportunities, since there are driving positions all over the place. It's just whether or not they're going to meet those new regulations or new expectations or qualifications of the driver. Here at Decker, we definitely have some new requirements. I guess not necessarily newer, but just stricter on the requirements themselves that we've had. If a major moving violation is a major moving violation, we can't work with that for 3 years. And I know that a lot of other companies have been more accepting of that than we have, and I think that has hurt them. And I think that they'll probably kind of join us in the requirements, or upholding those qualifications. I think they're going to have to. A lot of the reason that some of these companies went under was because of some of those DOT regulations that are out there, and how they had to make those adjustments, and whether or not they could afford making those adjustments, or maybe they just waited too long to make them. Where here at Decker, we've kind of we got on it right away. We started implementing the ELDs. I mean, we've been doing electronic logs since 2010. So when we transitioned from the AOBRD device to the ELDs, it was a smooth transition. For the most part, it was a smooth transition. Getting onto the AOBRD device back in 2010, that may have been a little bumpy, because I remember that it took so much getting used to, and we had so much resistance to the fact that it was going to it really was going to cut into the driver's finances and what the hours that they could run and this and that. And it did. I mean, it did affect you as a professional driver. It most definitely did affect you, but it also protected you from running illegal, and it protected your livelihood, your CDL. So there was definitely plus sides of it. And now I'm talking to a lot of those veteran professional drivers that have been out there for 30 years, especially those who I remember telling me there's no way, absolutely no way, Jess, that I'm going to do that. Now they won't go back. But some of that's also the same with the automatic trucks. So I give we're doing the right things. But I can tell you that with the changes that you'll see here at Decker, focus is going to continue to be on our retention, keeping track and taking care of our professional drivers, our current drivers that we have. That is our number one priority. Our accountability is to take care of those who we've got here and make sure we're doing a good job of it. So I do appreciate the input that you guys provide me. You can get a hold of us on Facebook. You can contact me directly, facebook.com/DTL Inc. And if you're messaging me there, I can get that information, pass that information on and provide it to those who can make those changes, have those suggestions. We really do appreciate it, and we take those into consideration all the time. And that's why they're asking me to come to you and get your input on, hey, if we're asking you to do these positive postings and these reviews, what is it that we can do here in-house to show you that we appreciate you taking the time to do this? How can we reward you or thank you for doing these things? And so yeah, that's just something that I need your input on. Any suggestions, really. I do get suggestions throughout the day, throughout the week on areas that we can improve. I also get these wonderful comments from individuals. They're not reviews that are out on the website or anything, but they're just wonderful comments of how they appreciated their recruiter and they were just real straightforward, or how they really appreciated their driver manager. He's getting them the miles and he's just really easy to work with. And those are all things that we love to hear, and it's just reinforcing that what we're doing or what we're trying to do is working. So we like to see that continue, if we could. What are you guys' goals for 2020? I'm telling you what our goals are. Our goals are to continue to take care of you and see improvement on miles and of course retention as well, because that's key. Keeping the quality drivers that we have. We like having top of the line drivers. We like the performance you guys are doing, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. Speaking of performance, our scorecard bonus that we had in 2019, that has changed for 2020, which I think a lot of you guys already know that. But the changes for 2020 we are increasing or adding. I'm going to say adding to the actual bonus. So the base of the bonus is still 1,000 points. It's still up to 4 cents a mile for the scorecard itself. But in addition to that, we're adding a Smart Drive score. Now, if your Smart Drive score is, let's see, I got to remember what it is. If it's 20 or lower, if it's 20 points or lower, then you'll have an extra penny per mile bonus to be paid to all of the drivers. Now, the note on that, you must have an inward-facing event recorder turned on to qualify for this bonus. So that is one thing. Now, the inward-facing camera, well, just like the outward, those kick on critical events. So it's not on all the time. But that is one requirement for the Smart Drive scorecard. If you guys have any questions about that, let us know. But we have definitely seen improvements on the Smart Drive, the scores, since we started this about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago. Right at 1.5 years ago. And we love to see those. So that scorecard bonus is continuing to increase. We'd like to see more and more paid out on that. The more we pay out on it, the better we're doing as a company and as individuals. So always a plus. What did I miss here? Howard says, since I won the calendar man and truck for December 2020, how much time do I have to spend my reward at the truck company store? Well, I don't know if you have a time limit on the store. I know that the truck wash was for December. But for the company store, I don't know if you have an actual time limit that's on there. Did you get the gift certificate mailed out to you or emailed to you, Howard? I'll wait to see what your answer is on that. As long as you've got the gift certificate, you should be fine. You should have plenty of time to access the Decker store. The Decker store, by the way, you can also go to our website, our intranet, if you haven't already. If you go to our intranet and sign in, or Decker companies, and sign in. I'm trying to get access to it here just so I can get the actual link to share with you guys. De-dum. Where's it at? Nope. No, I lied. Intranet, I don't see the link there. But the Decker companies, there is a link. So I'll get that for you. And company store. There she is. Here is the link to the company store. Okay, so you did get the certificate. There's the link to the company store, you guys. Yeah, with Howard, if you got the certificate, then you should be fine. There shouldn't be a time limit on that, but I'll double check it for you just to be safe. However, the truck wash was a December truck wash for all those who submitted entries to that. Howard, making myself a note here. Give me a sec here. Did you guys see Howard's picture? Let me see if I have that handy here to show you guys. I think, is this it? Bear with me. See if I can get this picture for you. I think this is it. Nope, this one is it. I'm sure you can imagine if you can hear me clicking away on this. Can you see that? Not yet? How about now? Can you see that? That is the picture that won the calendar. Right? Make sure. That's Howard's picture. We had several good ones. If you guys want to see another one. Let's see. By the way, we are planning on doing another one this year for entries for the calendar. It's not confirmed yet, you know, for 100%, but it sounds like that's what we're going to be doing. So start taking those pictures. Howard says, yep, I got the truck washed, but it got dirty the next day. Of course it did. Here's another picture. This one's Will Hurst's good looking vehicular. I like it. What else do we have here? I had a couple. Patrick's got some good ones, by the way. His just weren't when he got his good ones, they weren't in time for the actual event calendar. However, because I have them, Patrick, I am putting them in for this next year's since you sent them over. I'm gonna grab. You can hear me typing. Let's see. Which picture should I choose? He sent me a bunch of them, and they're gorgeous. I like this one. I like that one too. You got the four corners. Those were good ones. Oregon and Idaho line. Here, I'll bump this one over. I know, I'm kind of over here in the dark. Keeping you guys over here in the dark. There you go. There's another one. Good looking truck, isn't it? I like the view on that one. So that one's Patrick's. But we like to see them, you guys. So keep them coming, and we'll continue to push that calendar and encourage us to have that contest again. So, but we'd like them for year round. You can send any of those, by the way, to marketing@deckermail.com. Marketing@deckermail.com. Howard was like, "Yep, that was my risky red." It's a good looking truck. I love it when you guys are proud of what you're doing and what you're driving and who you're working for. Sure makes life easier, isn't it, when we're proud of them? All right. Cool. Well, I have kept you. I know we were a little late, but we went over a lot of the information that I wanted to make sure that we hit on. But don't forget that you can definitely get a hold of me. Well, first off, don't forget to subscribe. So as long as you subscribe, you won't miss any of our videos, our going live, or any of the videos, the helpful tips and suggestions, trips, any updates that we've got going on here on our YouTube channel. Of course, we also have our Facebook channel that we provide detailed information. Every Monday at 4 p.m. we go live on our Facebook as well, and that'll keep you updated with what's going on in life. And our truck driver support. So if you're a current professional driver for Decker Truck Line, please submit your entries to the your request, I guess, to join the trucker support. And that's our Facebook group. Is that on here? I don't have that on here, but it's trucker support. And if you submit it, if you go to our webpage, which is facebook.com/DTLinc, and then click on the related groups, it'll bring you up the option of truck driver support. And that way, you as one of our professional drivers, along with other Decker drivers, you guys can start holding conversations, providing helpful information on maybe areas that are closed down, for weather, or heads up on accidents. You can provide additional tips. Maybe you have your own tips that you'd like to share with others. That's a good place to share it. So again, it's truck driver support for truck drivers, which is one of our Facebook groups, or our Facebook group for our professional drivers. But make sure that you let me know what your real name is or your driver code, because then I can make sure that you are a current driver. I don't recognize everybody's Facebook logins. I really don't recognize most of them, because I think the one I got yesterday was on the way to the top. I have no idea who that was. So quit trying to confuse me. Make it easy on me, and just go ahead and give me your full name and fill out the questions that I have on there, which is, what is your driver code and whatnot. Now, if it is your name, your real name that you use for your Facebook, I'm pretty sure I can figure that one out. But Patrick asks, any chance much needed upgrade for the Decker Motel? I thought we could put satellite TV in our trucks. We could do the same for the motel. It would be indeed more hospitable. There we go. Actually, it's already in the works. So you betcha. The satellite TV, I'm not sure if it's Epic View or what it is, but that's been in discussion. Thursday's TCA communications meeting. We also have a retention meeting that addresses a lot of that, and the Decker Motel has been brought up so that we can make some improvements of it. Yes, I didn't realize that. Didn't realize how many people had made the remarks besides management. Management brought it to some of the rest of us attention, saying that, hey, we need to do more here. And satellite was one suggestion that was brought up. So absolutely. Much needed upgrades. We're taking care of that. There are additional upgrades, but I don't know all of them. But I do know that they were looking at a couple of different options. And I know for some of the terminals that we have, like over in Missoula, we do have some of those private rooms. We expect something similar to that as well. The private rooms with the lounge chair and the TV and the telephone desk, so that you can, get some of the things done too while you're waiting for your truck. That is also an option being discussed. So, yeah. Let me know if you guys have any other questions on that. Now, don't forget, we go live on Monday, so make sure that you're following us on our Facebook channel as well. But subscribe here, because we'll get some more videos out for you guys. Again, don't forget to comment or either comment here in the chat or get a hold of me on Facebook with any ideas that you have for thank yous or just recognizing those who do the positive posting. We could appreciate that. Cool. All right. I'll let you go. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you next Monday for our Facebook Live, and the next Tuesday afternoon for our YouTube Live. Take care, you guys. We'll take care of you, Howard. Patrick, we got you.